My mama was a tiny little woman, and one of her most favorite sayings was, "Don't be fooled, honey, because dynamite comes in mighty small packages." And I couldn't help but think about that while I was making this quilt, because the box was tiny, the little clothes inside the box were tiny, and then ultimately the quilt ended up being tiny. And just like in the book, if you give a mouse a cookie, one thought led to another, and then I started thinking about this. I'm still sort of new to this whole content creation world, but I get this one comment or DM or email all the time, and it's always some version of, "I wish I could do what you do." Now, it's not how to make these quilts, because I show you how to do that here, and then I also have an ebook with instructions. It's about making content and showing up here online. And I really don't think enough people are talking about this, or heck, maybe they just don't want you to know. And honestly, that second part is just baffling to me, because gatekeeping takes a lot of effort. You have to stay so busy guarding that gate, making sure nothing gets out, that you don't even realize you're missing out on the full abundance that's sitting right in front of you. And that brings me right back to the response I always give whenever somebody says they wish they could do what I do. I say, you can. You just got to teach what you know. You know how to sew? Teach that. You know how to cook? Teach that. You know how to play the piano, or make your own laundry soap, or invest in the stock market, or groom your dog at home so that you're not spending $487 million a year at the groomer so that you can invest in the stock market. Teach that. There's something, or a lot of somethings, that you're really good at. And with more than 8 billion people on this planet, chances are there's somebody on the other side of this screen that really wants to learn how to do what you do. Because in my very humble, barely educated opinion, people are tired of just scrolling. They want to be able to take something away from all this time they're spending on their phone, which means there needs to be people on the other side of the screen teaching them something. Now, I've had people come back to me and say, "But I don't want to share my secrets." And I get that, because years ago, I had this one friend say, "La, you should start doing YouTube." And I'd say, "But if I get on there and start showing people how I make these quilts, they're going to steal my idea and my business." But what I've learned through all this is that it is so much more rewarding to hold the gift that God gave you with an open hand, rather than gripping it so tightly that you end up suffocating. Because some gifts, no matter how tiny they are, weren't meant to be kept all to ourselves. They were meant to be shared with the world, so that God can turn that tiny spark into something that lights up more lives than you could ever reach on your own. Teach what you know, share your gifts, and for heaven's sake, please stop guarding that gate. Matter of fact, I think you should unlock that gate and throw away the key. All right, I'll talk to you later. Love you, bye.